Pelicans once again lose in crunch time. This time the Chicago Bulls 114-106. Make sure you smash that like button. Let's do it.
First took away. Gas for this. Get your money's worth out.
Presented to you by the Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk Located, 19 Poydras Street. By the Superdome, give them a call at 504-523-5413 if you're someone you know has been involved in an accident. The Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. So Chaz and Lito join me tonight. Sorry for the late start, but 9 p.m. Appreciate everyone in the room right now. There are a lot of comments. I'm going to try to get to all of them. But once again, another crunch time loss. They lose the same way. Brandon Ingram had 9 turnovers. Zion Williamson and Alex Caruso was something. Crunch time minutes was something. But you know what? I'm gonna start off tonight. It's perfect that Ross isn't here because Matt fucking Ryan.
Take a bow, Justin. Take a bow. Take a bow, Justin.
I usually don't take a bow. I usually let you guys go. I'm gonna take this one tonight. Matt Ryan. You're gonna look at the box score. He went 4 of 9 from deep. He had 14 points. 3 of those shots were end of shot clock. Like he had to put it up. Like it was like a desperation. He was at 1 point 4 of 6, Chaz, like midway through the third. And now it wasn't a stationary 4 of 6. It was him moving, him slot diving, or him relocating from corner to wing or wing to corner or coming off screens. At one point, Chaz, he literally, like, I think his last 3 of the game, he like had this like crazy dribble to the left corner step back 3. And I'm just like, you don't bench 47% 3-point shooters. And you can use this guy. Like, look, I'm not saying, once again, it's like the Jordan Hawkins thing, Chaz. Like, I'm not saying he needs 15 to 20 minutes, but the downside of Matt Ryan is he's a defensive liability. I see that he competes, he rebounds, he tries to be in the right spots at the right time. And then when you have a guy that lethal who can play off Zion Williamson, who can play off Brandon Ingram, and Chaz, you talk about it all the time, multiple shooters surrounding Zion and Brandon is usually a good thing. Once again tonight. By the way, Matt Ryan hadn't played a game in significant minutes since November 17th. It's February 25th, and the motherfucker was ready. So shout out to Matt Ryan putting in extra work, and Coach McGuire putting in extra work, man. That dude was just absolutely awesome tonight. So I'm going to start with Matt Ryan, Chaz.
No, shout out to, like you say, Matt Ryan and Coach McGuire. I tweeted something earlier today. It was like, yo, with CJ being out, there's not another, especially with Najee and Jose being out also, it's not another person who can really facilitate or self-create out there. So maybe you should lean in to shooting even more. And I don't know if Matt Ryan is the answer, but you got to give him at least an opportunity to fail. And he hasn't failed yet this season. And you talk about defensive liabilities. Oh, that's something, people like to say as to reasons why he shouldn't. I argue who isn't a fucking defensive liability on this team, with the exception of Herb Jones and Dyson. Zion, sometimes BI, he's better this year as well. But he's a lethal shooter.
Lethal. Like, it's lethal at this point, Chaz. It's lethal.
Matt is one of the last of a dying breed, that old Joe Harris, JJ, that dying breed. Matt, and here's the crazy thing about Matt. He don't cost you nothing.
Right.
He don't cost you nothing. He's a professional. He's a guy who's got a transferable skill. He came to your team with a skill. What's up, Lexa? You don't have to coach him up. You don't have to, he knows what his job is and he does it well. It's sad. It's one of those things where when guys show up and play well, you're almost a little disappointed because you feel like, why did it take you so long? Option here, and you just neglected it all this time. How many more W's did you leave on the table because of this? Your refusal to play this guy, and it's just it all goes back to coaching being dog shit on this team, unfortunately. But shout out to Matt Ryan, man.
I want to hear your thoughts on this too, Chaz. I'm gonna go to Lito first though. But why do you think? I mean, I know Matt got hurt with the elbow stuff, but he's been healthy for like a month or so, and he's been shooting lights out. It's very evident that the guy can shoot. Why does he get DNPs? Seriously, like what is the reasoning behind? And look, I don't want to hear there's so many players on the roster. I really don't want to hear that. I just don't. I don't want to hear that excuse anymore. Like, yes, there's talent, but like there are nights where you can clearly use Matt Ryan, and there are nights that are like, no, you're at the end of the bench. I'm not even thinking about Matt Ryan. And then tonight, once again, hasn't played in 3 months, significant minutes in 3 months, comes out And he's without Matt Ryan tonight, you might have put up 90 points. Might have.
Who that's to?
It's to you. And I'm wondering, why is he logging DNPs?
You know, Justin, you keep asking me these questions where you want me to go into the mind of Willie Green. And, you know, for my safety, I'm going to stay out of that because I can't particularly answer that question for you. A 47% 3-point shooter. I told you, Justin, the day he got hurt, I told you he was dead. I said he's never going to play again. I said
how does a 47% 3-pointer die? Like, how does that happen?
Listen, man, I don't shout out to Carlito's Way. Appreciate you. I think that it dies because I think Willie has certain people he just wants to see win, or he wants to win.
No. This isn't Carrollton basketball.
No.
This is not fucking
real
middle
shit.
school basketball.
People have a particular style of play. They have a particular style they want to win with. They have guys that they want to win with. Matt is an outlet to his roster. He was added late to the roster. You can say the same thing about Hawkins, right? You can ask me the same thing you're saying about Matt is the same thing you can say about Hawkins.
Thank you, Down on 504. Thank y'all, man.
Appreciate y'all. Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Now I'm gonna get to your comment here in a second when Lito.
But listen, let me say this. I'm gonna land my plane right here real fast. Hey, you said Matt got a long way to go on defense. He's not a great defender. All right, so check this out. Is Larry Nance a great defender?
No.
He get minutes regardless, right?
Yeah, he does.
So what's that about, Justin? Let me ask you a question. What's that about?
Chaz pointed this one out. He had more turnovers than rebounds tonight.
Five
joined the show.
Negative 24. What's up, Five?
What's five?
He was a negative 2. Yeah, we're gonna get to Larry Nance. We're gonna have to talk about those minutes tonight. Yeah, and look, I agree with you, Lito. Before I get to Chaz 5, you want to say anything about Matt Ryan?
I was kind of trying to watch y'all talk about it, but what else there to say? The dude ain't played in 3 months. He came out and he shot the ball. The thing that he had been doing. What he was shooting like 40-something%?
47.
47%, right? Like, hey, I feel you, dog. But like I told you, it ain't about his skill set. It isn't the reason why he's not playing. All right, it's more about the idea of Willie Green and what he wants to see. I think Lito just alluded to that, right? Like, Willie Green has a style of play he wants to succeed with. It's like he'd rather lose doing it his way than win doing it somebody else's way.
Yep. Chaz, how much do you think this team's gonna miss CJ Mccollum?
I think they're gonna miss him tremendously. I say this without insult to anyone else. I think CJ is one of the more probably top 2 most important players on this roster just because but top 3 most important just because of his ability to put the ball on the floor and create and his willingness to consistently shoot threes. Even with BI being healthy, I felt a little, discomfort going into this game because I said, the Pelicans don't have another self-creator. Like CJ, even at this age, has a good enough handle to create, advantages, get to the rim. Floater seems automatic, knows how to get to the free throw line, knows how to initiate contact and slow things down. And again, his ability to shoot the 3 off the dribble. The Pelicans don't really have that with CJ being out. Even if you surrounded this, let's say you just surrounded Zion and BI with just shooters, you still need another guy who can create out there. Herb isn't really asked to do that. And Herb is not a guy who takes threes off the dribble. So I think CJ will be missed tremendously.
Hey, before you move on from that point, Chaz, I got a question. Why did when you started how you started, you said not to offend anybody. Why do you think people would be offended by that? Like why? Because you made a factual statement. Like for real, why would that offend somebody?
Oh well, you know what? I don't necessarily worry about the people who get offended because I know that's lust driven, right? I can't help. Whatever people feel in their loins is on them. I'm speaking more so about, these. You want every player to succeed, but if Herb listens to the show, I'm not saying you're not one of the more important people. Herb, somebody at JV listen to the show. I'm not saying you're not one of the top 2. I'm just saying, CJ is a change of pace guy. You know what I'm saying? CJ is the dude who most nights he's gonna be the great equalizer. And when you have him off the court, you don't really have a ton of advantage creators, especially when you're seeing the way teams are trapping Zion with shooters, how teams trap Brandon. Neither one of those guys have really impressive handles, so it makes it really difficult to run the offense.
Speaking of ball handling, pause. 5. I want to answer you.
There was a million better ways. There was a million better. You could
bring the basketball up the court, facilitate. I got. Look, I got the thesaurus. I'm trying to get better every day. All right, Chaz, I really am. 5. There was a possession late in the game. Probably, I'm not too sure on the timestamp. 5 minutes left. 1 or 2 possession game, and they had Jordan Hawkins bring the ball up. If you watch summer league, if you watched any summer league games, we said like, look, man, the one thing Hawks got to do is probably work on handling the basketball. Okay. They had at this point 2-5. They ran elbow. They called elbow, and they had Herb Jones on the court. Why wouldn't you switch Hawkins with Herb? Herb, I don't know if you knew this, 5, was a point guard at Alabama. He played point guard. So why would you have Jordan Hawkins, the rookie, bring it up? I guarantee you Jordan Hawkins has never ran the 1, even in practice, with the elbow set. I guarantee you that. Herb, on the other hand, has. So why wouldn't you make that switch and have Herb bring it up instead of Hawkins? Hawkins crosses half court. I thought it was one of the biggest plays of the game. Hawkins crosses half court. Instantly, Kobe White rips him. Kobe White goes down and makes an insane finish. But like, those are these little things. Those are the little things that lose you games.
I mean, that is the belly of it, right? Like, I think we talked about this before. I think I had a conversation with let's say an NBA trainer. I said, what would be, like, if you were analyzing Jordan Hawkins' game, what would be the next step for him? And my position was, like, he needs to get a better handle. He has to get stronger with the ball, right? Like, that has to be a thing for him. Just because, like you can't just have Zion dribble the ball up, 95% of the time. Like, that's not conducive to winning. But that's why I always led with Herb just being the point guard anyway. Because CJ is so much better off ball than he is on ball. So you rather just have Herb do this from jump. But if you looked at this roster and said, hey, I got a pure point guard on it, if you said that to yourself, you were lying. Like, this has been a patch job by this organization at the 1. Sincerely, like, they just been trying to.
It's not a joke.
It's just. I just
looked at Chad. My bad.
You just looked at Chad.
That's the issue with me. Like, you knew you didn't have a point guard, but then you put the guy with a really shaky handle at the 1.
You talking about Hawkins?
Yeah.
You're talking about a rookie. Put a rookie with a shaky handle.
Regardless, like he hasn't played a 1. Like, this is the critical point in the season. Like, you could do this maybe in November or mid-January. You can't do this now. Like, this isn't the opportune time to do this. But hey, what do I know?
It's kind of like playing the Tower and Jackson, the playing game.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the Tony Snell substitution over there. So look, guys, I see there's a lot of super chats, so I'm gonna try to get to all of them. We really appreciate y'all supporting the channel. I want to hear Lito's thoughts on the Jordan Hawkins point guard situation. And Lito, I want you to also talk about the third quarter collapse, because a lot of people are talking in that comments the last 3 or 4 minutes.
The Jordan Hawkins point guard situation. I feel like
that was crazy.
What a time to have that situation. I'm pretty sure Jordan Hawkins never thought that he would be initiating the offense today. I really just didn't see that. I'm sure he didn't see that in the cards for himself. Nobody probably ever told him. It just probably happened in that moment. I don't think it was a good idea. Like, I don't think it was a smart thing to do. And you like you said, you have Herb on the floor. I'd also at some point like to talk about how, like, nobody ever set a pick for Zion on Alex Caruso, and he was struggling to, like, bring the ball up the court. Like, there was no action to help him.
What would you have done,
so bro? You could have easily just kept passing the ball. Like, Zion didn't have to bring the ball up the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have also just set a pick for him. Like, once he crossed half court, like, there you go, automatic switch, automatic mismatch. Depends on who's setting the pick. Also, for me, Beans in the building. Look, also for me, I think the Jordan Hawkins point, right? Like, you better use him at his advantage if you have him initiating the offense. Oh man! Wait, Justin, what did you? It was a 2-part to that question.
Yeah, so the end of the third quarter collapse, and then we'll go because now Ross is actually joining the show. I'm surprised you're showing face tonight, Ross. I really am. Kudos to you. But Lito, go ahead. Last third quarter, or the last 3 minutes of the third quarter.
Third quarter collapse, man. The Pels just basically just keeping tradition alive. They just not letting down. You know what I'm saying? They're not letting down the tradition. We got a thing right now where we gonna collapse some shit. You just gotta stick around long enough. You know what I'm saying? And just stay in the game. Like they go, bro. And then you shorthanded already, but then you still put the wrong players in, and you still have the wrong rotations. Like I never want to see Larry Nance and JRE at the same time again in my life. Like ever again.
So we talked about this, Chaz. What's the point of Cody Zeller being on the roster then? Like, I'm not saying Cody, but like, you don't think Cody Zeller could have gotten run tonight? Do you think he's fully healthy? Do you think he could have produced better minutes? Because Larry Nance against Andre Drummond is not a good matchup.
I mean, Cody Zeller, you got to support the veterans. Cody, it was just President's Day. You got to give old George W a run. But look, man, I don't want to see Larry Nance against any fucking body. I don't want to see Larry Nance matched up against anyone. You're always at a disadvantage. Larry, I said it earlier. Larry used his last sensu bean to play those 2 games and to trick us all. Then he went out with an ankle again, like we knew he would. That's why I didn't take the bait. Because I knew pretty soon Denny's would come calling.
So then let me ask you this. If Larry Nance can't play, who's going to play in that spot? Because they did nothing at the trade deadline in order to shore up that spot. So then who do you go to?
You could have went negative 24 tonight.
You got options. You signing all these fucking weird people. You never have.
You mentioned EJ Liddell. You had mentioned EJ Liddell. Is that something actually realistic?
But here's the thing: it doesn't necessarily have to be that guy. Like you didn't have to convert JRE's contract to a real contract. You didn't have to do that. There's plenty of 10-day guys you could have went out and got. Biyombo was available at one point. You still got Freaky Dwight out there available. He would. I don't know. He might run rampant.
We talk about Boogie all the time, but like Boogie said that
Boogie. You can't sign him, Chaz. You can't sign him. The person you said before Boogie, you can't sign.
You can't sign that man. But you still got guys out there, professional players who can probably give you some run. I don't think Carlo is far off from Larry Nance at this point. Truthfully, I just think Larry's at a point where his body is betraying him. But it's not about Larry Nance. Really, Larry Nance, he could cause a fuss on the sidelines as much as he wants, but it's about guys being put in position to fail with this roster. You spoke about Jordan Hawkins bringing the ball up the court. It's not something he should necessarily be asked to do. Would it be great if he could do it? Yes, but you got an SEC guy, played point guard, and Herb Jones, had 6 assists, definitely has the talent to bring the ball up the court to give you a little different look from what's happening with the whole Point Zion thing. You got options here. And the thing is just Willie Green, AKA Credit Karma. He's just fucking terrible. He just fucking sucks. He just fucking stinks. I wasn't here after the last game because it just,
Trust me, Ross covered for you there on that one.
Give Willie Green credit. He almost made me quit. Give Willie Green credit. By the way, if we get $1,000 in the super chat, I will not be back here the rest of the season. So
there you go. Super chats. Let's go. Let's go.
Y'all want them out. Y'all want them out.
Hey,
get them the super chats.
Hey, let's see what's happening here. But it's Willie Green, man.
Speaking of which, Ross, Matt Ryan said, what you got? What do you have?
I thought he shot the ball really well.
Yeah, that's what 47% people do.
I don't know why I said last game with all the injuries he needed to play. I mean, I said like 48 hours ago, I said he needed to play. Who else is going to play? And we still lost. And he was still a huge negative. Like, I mean, look, I hate to go back. Look, he shoot the ball really well? Yeah, but like he's a good shooter. But if you watch the game, they attack him. Like DeRozan's eyes. I was sitting pretty high.
They attack everybody.
I was sitting pretty high up today. You could see DeRozan's eyes get big from even where I was sitting. And that's the problem with him. And so, I mean, it is what it is. He shot the ball great tonight. it didn't make any difference in whether we won or lost. But good for him. Look, I will give Matt Ryan this. Motherfucker stays ready at least to go in. He's over there, like, whether he's going to play or not going to play, he's over there fucking shuffling up and down the sideline, like with, resistance bands and stuff. Like, good on him, man. Like he's out there trying. Ugly game though. God.
Yeah. 5. A lot of people are talking about Trey Murphy. Mixed bag tonight, but 10 rebounds. Defensively wasn't great.
Give me a break.
Okay, go ahead.
Nah, fuck. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Trey's been mid. Like, for a dude that wants a $140, $150 million contract, like, this is the time to show it. Like, sorry, like it can't be like, yo, we kept you with some bail a little bit, like, right? You was coming off injury, like you was kind of forcing everything. Hey, it's time to put up, bro. Like, the shots are there. Like, there's no one's taking you out because you shot 10 times. Like, they're giving you an opportunity to earn it. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, they're online. It's a make or miss league. That's kind of what it is, bro. You want money? Like, at this point, like, are you trying to get paid off potential, or are you trying to get paid off of work? Right? Like, yeah, you 6'10" and you can shoot. Well, this is the time to prove that you can shoot when you're dependent on it, right? Like, it's easy to be a shooter when you have CJ, Zion, Brandon, and things are going well. It's real easy to be a shooter then. But can you be a shooter when you don't have another shooter out there? Can you be impactful when your shot isn't going in?
So that last point, Chaz, you talk about being the only shooter on the floor. Do you think it's fair that and Chaz alludes to this all the time, a lot of people too as well. Shouldn't Trey also be paired with another shooter to make life just a little bit easier on him? Just a little bit easier. I know y'all no, Ross, like, for real though. Like, I just sometimes I think, as Chaz said, people are put out there and they're gonna fail because I don't think they're put in the right situation, the right spots. That's just my thing on it.
I'll say this. You have to coach who you're dealing with. And I think that's one thing that this team fails to recognize a lot of the times. Like, we talk about Zion's rebound and we talk about some of the other things. It's like, yo, you got to recognize who you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with a person that has certain shortcomings, you have to account for that. Now, the issue with Trey is, like, look, it costs to be the boss. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's time to show improve. It's a contract year. And, and a little bit of fairness to him, he could come out tomorrow, have a couple of 5 for 10 games and erase all these questions. But there'll still be a bit of an issue there because you need to have consistency. Like, the 10 rebounds, that's great. That's a step in the right direction. That's something I need to see. Not 10 rebounds, of course, but just the effort there on the boards more consistently. I would like to see a better plan of action for some of these guys to generate some more open looks. Trey's first three was halfway down. So let's say he goes 4 for 9 tonight. Does that really change the complexion of what we're talking about? A little, but not a lot, right? Right. The thing with Trey more than anything is the contract. If the contract wasn't as much of a conversation, then that might, tilt the scales a bit to how we talk about him. But this being a year where you're asked to do something, like the ball's in your court, you have the opportunity to probably, get a couple of other people up out of here and cement yourself as a starter in this lineup. So far, he hasn't done it. Hey, I feel like he's not a person I'm really worried about too much, but at the same time, the contract is the thing, and you need the best version of Trey for this team to be competitive. And the best version.
I'm not worried about him either, but there was a moment tonight, man. It was probably fourth quarter again. I think Zion drives and Trey's just standing in the corner with his hands up, and he's got a clear slot dive. I mean, it is clear as day. Baseline slot drive, it's a bounce pass and it's a dunk, and he just stood there. And that's what's like the most frustrating, because I think Trey can score multiple ways, but he's limiting his own self by just standing out there. I mean, you just said he's 6'10", he's in the dunk contest last year. Like, guy's got hops, he can have the highlight dunks, and the way you do that is by slot cutting.
To respond just a little for 1 second there. I think the thing with that also is, just like with this team, when shit gets hectic, everyone falls back into their bad habits. So if you haven't been succeeding, driving to the rim, you're not getting to the line, you're not finishing at the rim, what you gonna do? You're gonna do what you know how to do. I'm staying here, I'm not gonna move, I'm gonna just catch and shoot. And that's something that you got to be coached out of, and confidence got to be instilled into you. You got to break out of that.
Lito or five?
I think the approach to the game really is the thing here. If you having a mental issue with your shot, not even like confidence, like your confidence is blown. Yeah, if your confidence is blown, right? I think your approach to the game should change. Not saying you shouldn't shoot those shots. I'm saying I think how you start out the approach, how you start out the game should change. Like, bro, nothing is wrong with going to get a layup. Like, layups and free throws are how you get warm in a game. And I think if I'm looking at his particular bro, and I'm gonna be honest here, I don't know how a coach hasn't said this to him. Yo, like,
what do you mean? Said what? I guarantee you, bro, they've said cut to the goal. No coach is like, don't cut to the goal. It's if the player wants to do it. Guys, come on.
I wouldn't give this thing too much credit, to be honest. Like,
Five, you're muted. Five. I don't know if you're trying to say something. Five.
I'm not muted.
Go ahead.
Nah, I don't know, bro. Like you talk about Trey not getting a layup. I mean, you begged Brandon to shoot a three. Like what? It kind of goes hand in hand. Like this staff has more problems than we think. To be honest, I think this staff is. To be honest, this team comes into every game at a deficit. It's like a -10. It's -10-0 every time the ball tips off. Every time. And the players have to dig themselves out of it every time. Hence why you can watch games like this and be like, I can see why Jose Alvarado and Najee Marshall are that important. I can see why. Vividly. I can see why. Just because the only way this team can play is off energy. And when they get up 10, 12, 20 points, like you just hope that they keep people at a distance. You just hope. There's no guarantee because they don't play in a way that dictates that. Like no team to Draymond's point, no team in the NBA is scared of the Pelicans. You can be up 20 and know, to Lito's point, they're gonna give up the draws. They gonna give it up. Like you just gotta stay at the ball with us. That's all. You just gotta stay at the ball. Just don't fuck it up. You just keep doing what you do. And eventually, the Pelicans is going home with you, bro.
She's a goer.
230 people in the room. Make sure y'all smash that like button. We have like 24 something likes. Everyone right now, smash the like button. Helps the channel, helps the show out. Which leads into this great question here for you, Ross. Real question: does Willie survive this season?
That's a funny question. I went to the game tonight with a buddy from Chicago, huge Bulls fan. And he follows the Pelicans because he lives here, but he's a Bulls fan. And probably about midway through the third quarter, asked me if Willie was on the hot seat. It was like, Willie, I don't really hear much. It's like, is he on the hot seat or what? I'm like, we don't have enough time in a quarter and a half for me to answer that question. But yes, he unquestionably survives the season. But they're not going to do anything.
Sorry, do you think after the season's done, do you think he's back next year?
Yeah. I think so. I just don't think this front office has the guts to do anything.
Hey, can I?
We haven't heard before you go, Lito. Yeah, Justin, we haven't heard one whisper of disappointment. You got to pull yourself out of this group sometimes and look at it from outsiders' perspective. I think there's a lot of people, including a lot of people in this front office, that still see what this team has done this season as a huge success so far.
10 games over 500.
I think like that, like your opinion, our opinion, some others' opinion, I don't think is mimicked by others like the way that we sometimes think. Like I think there's a lot of people in this front office that see this as a big success thus far.
Leo, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a guy named Jason Pat who runs Clutch Points, but he's a podcaster for the Bulls on Blue Wire Pods, right? So anyways, so he was tweeting after the game and he said, this is a legit terrible loss for the Pelicans. Up 12, leading the third, at home against a shorthanded team, and get absolutely punked the rest of the way. Can't afford that in the race for top 6. Then he goes on to say, Jonas was somehow plus 19 in the 8-point loss and only had 28 minutes, while Larry Nance was a negative 24 and the rest of the Pelicans bench stunk it up. Those stretches against that bench helped the Bulls erase deficits. He then went on to ask, is Jonas on a minutes restriction or something? What's going on with that? And it's like the rest of the world can see it. Like,
why'd Zion play 33 minutes tonight? I thought he was supposed to get more. I mean, after practice, Willie Green a couple days ago said that those
I think I have an answer for some of this. Do y'all remember Bikegate? Everyone remembers Bikegate, right? The infamous Bikegate. You know, when you bite someone, you say, you know, you bit them, right? And with this team, this is a bizarre B-I-T. This is a bizarre, intimate team. It's a lot of bizarre, intimate relationships. There's no reason, there's no other way, like, you know, to really explain some of the rotational decisions in this team. There's no way to really explain. I do believe that Griff has forced Willie's hand to do a few things at this point. Paul, that sounded insane, right? But that sounded fucking crazy, right? I do believe Griff has kind of you know, pull rank. That's a better way to say it. Pull rank on Willie a couple times, because you see with the Jordan Hawkins shit, you kind of see it with, I mean, some of the Trey shit, and we've seen his offense change 4 times already. That ain't Willie Green making his own decisions. You know, that's somebody coming from the office and say, yo, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to really say, because if Willie Green is in his last year, then you know you're not really paying him. But I think Willie Green, I keep saying this, Willie Green is a package deal. And if you're not moving on from X player, you're probably not moving on from Willie Green, because ain't too many coaches going to accept X players type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing to me.
Dave Esson is not, no, I don't like Mike D'Antoni's not. He's not coming back to become a head coach. He's on the staff, and he's like literally living in like North Carolina, just like cashing a paycheck for doing nothing.
He remote as hell.
Yeah, go ahead, Lito.
Hey, let me say this to Chaz's point. Like, you know, people talk about trades and roster moves and things of that nature, and like, you know, obviously you look at this roster and there's certain things you think that you need, or you see that you need, but I don't think any of that matters as long as the person who like controls the game is still at the helm of the team. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just like, Jared, did you see a lot of points Zion tonight?
Zion had the ball a lot, right? It wasn't like he was denied it. It's just tough, man. Like, you don't have enough advantage for you.
Can I cut you off there? This is what I want to ask you. I'm sorry. With the Bulls being more physical tonight and the Heat being more physical tonight, is that now out that like if you out physical the Pelicans, they will
It's been that way for years.
Yeah, like this ain't nothing new.
No, but like I thought tonight AD was like very like, yeah, they're just more physical. And the Heat last night or 2 nights ago, they were just more physical. And like the Warriors are just more physical.
He's been saying it. This goes back to last year when the Pels were up 20 in Golden State and gave up the draws. Like, this is Draymond Green turned up physicality, and what happened? They unraveled. Like, this doesn't change. This hasn't changed. But to the first question, like, tonight shouldn't even have been a point Zion game, to be honest. They had Alex Caruso guarding him. Really good defender. But all you had to do was put Zion on the right block and give him the rock.
Just the inside.
Why wasn't that seen more, man?
But this isn't, again, this is like JV being out there against the Heat. Like, you didn't even play through JV, and he had an advantage. They had Jovic on him, right? And I hope I'm not butchering his last name. Like, we're just not a smart team. That's it. Like, like the things that make sense to other teams and other organizations and other fans don't make sense over here. They don't make sense. They're not a regular commodity. We don't take, like, the Miami Heat went after every fucking advantage they could. It didn't matter. Like, it ain't like Duncan Robinson got hot. Boom, boom. Okay, cool. even if he did, like they knew, like, okay, we're gonna still give the ball to Jimmy, we're gonna play through Jimmy, and then swing, and they don't miss fucking rotations. Like you look at that fucking team yesterday, they don't miss shit. And if they do, matter of fact, Duncan Robinson did something stupid yesterday. I think he threw the ball out of bounds. Boop! Timeout. Get your ass out of here.
Come sit next to me.
What's that called? What's that called?
Accountability,
bro. Like that's an organization. That's what the Pels should want to be like, right?
Bro.
They should want to be like that team.
We don't have the owner, the GM, or the coach in place to even sniff what they're doing. I agree with you in general. There's some of those same things. And I'll add one thing to what Five was just saying. The other thing we don't do, he's saying we're not smart. I agree. The other thing we don't do is make adjustments, right? Because it should have been very clear, and we talked about this in the post game, the show last time. When they came out with Jovic on JV, there should have been either just isolations or they should have put JV and Jovic in every single Zion pick and roll and said, this dude's going to have to cover one of these, and we just go to work. Tonight, I thought Caruso did a hell of a job on Zion, a hell of a job, but he never should have been in the position to do it. He never should have. The first position, I mean, maybe you come into the game and you say, oh, shit, we didn't know they were going to put Caruso on Zion. Cool. Let's get a quick timeout.
Takes a couple possessions. Yeah.
That's fine. A couple possessions. Timeout. Okay. Changing this shit up real quick. We don't do it. It's the most obvious thing. Just anybody sitting out there with half a brain is saying the same shit. That we're like, it's obvious. Instead, what do we keep doing?
Everybody's boy. This is wild.
Swing, Ross. You see, you know what? This is my problem with Willie Green yesterday, right? This is my problem with Willie Green yesterday. There was a question asked, and there was a clear-cut lane for him to say and get a fine for his guy. Because tonight, you saw the ramifications of not doing it. How many free throws did Zion shoot tonight? How many? 2. You know what would have happened if he would have fucking, Willie Green would have took a fucking fine, instead of keeping money. Like, how can you say you're gonna keep money in your pocket? Because what's happening is it's an investment that you're making in your player. You want your player to get a call, pay some money for it. Because every fucking coach in the NBA does it. Every fucking one of them. If they have a
Raptors coach, coach called Scotty Barnes the face of the franchise.
Season derailing statement. Season derailing statement.
That is
my God.
asinine.
Yeah.
That was
crazy.
Critical. Like, how can you... Go ahead.
No, my bad. Go ahead.
It just, that gets on my nerves. Like, how can you not see the investment in your own guy? How can you not see, like, yo, Zion's getting killed? He's been getting killed for years. Remember the time Zion got like his hand messed up, and then SVG said it like after like Zion got hurt, like almost like too late. That's what's about to happen.
Oh, when SVG went off.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
that's what Zion's gonna get fucking hurt, and then Willie's gonna get a fucking it's too late. It's too late.
And this is why we went to trial. Willie Green is a fucking weasel. I'm sick of this fucking guy. I'm sick of him because here's the thing. We can mistake a person being classy or a gentleman with a person really being like a coward or cowardly. Willie Green is cowardly because there's a million fucking ways to get your point across without being overt or being like animated. But there's a place for all of this. This is the game within the fucking game.
Christian was like literally egging him on. Christian asked like 4 or 5 like questions about the original question.
And here's the thing: this man's been in the league. He's a fucking former player. He wasn't a former player too long ago. He's a player you're old enough to remember playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? He played in the last decade. This motherfucker is just not. He's just weak. He's a weasel. To me, it reminds me so much of the Seattle Seahawks when they had the Legion of Boom or whatever. They'll commit a penalty every fucking play because they know the ref just not gonna call it. And this is football. So in basketball, at least you have the option to kind of like be a bit more vocal. You got 2 techs in the game. They got, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna call a foul for a star player. And and to Zion, and it's not just Zion, but he says something. He don't go overboard with it, but he said something after virtually every time it happens, he's saying something. Now, to me, the next step for him is to lay a motherfucker out. At this point, you just got to lay a motherfucker out. If you sign,
Chaz, that too. But at what point does he just lose his mind, just get ejected? Like
see, that as well. But see, it should never have to come to that,
right? Because your coach should have your back. I completely agree. This is where your coach can. Right, and this is where your coach can come in. Mike Malone does it. Like all the greats. Spoelstra does it. Like Missoula will do it. Like all these guys do it.
And closing about Willie, it's like I always say, Willie, he's not a good X and O's guy. He's not really necessarily a leader. Really, he's not. He doesn't control the offense. He doesn't really do the defense. He doesn't do the rotations. I don't know what you do, motherfucker. You keeping all the money in your pocket. You robbing us blind. You don't do nothing. You don't do anything. The least you can do is get an occasional fucking tech.
Can I ask y'all this? If Willie Green were to get fined, and whoever wants to go first can answer this. If Willie Green were to get fined by going to bat for Zion Williamson, just losing his mind in that press conference, do you think he would actually pay it, or do you think ownership, or maybe even Zion, or maybe someone else pay it? Do y'all think that someone else would foot the bill?
I don't care.
That's also fair. That's also
fair.
Him
to say that though, Justin, he said that.
Guys, I'm not defending him. I'm not defending him.
I'm not saying you are. Okay. I'm not saying you are. I'm just making a point of emphasis. Like,
why would you say that? Yeah.
Zero fucking awareness.
What is it, like 25 grand?
Yeah.
Like, all right, somewhere in there. If you're Zion, even if it's $100,000, right? If you're Zion Williamson, like my coach won't even spend $100 grand. Like my coach won't spend, like he won't even spend the Like how? Who else is gonna do it? Like who else is in a position to do it? Like nobody else. And that's why I was thinking about like an article idea, and this what came to mind. The players like Najee, you can say if you believe in the whole click thing, Najee, Jose, they're all team Brandon, right? And Zion's on the other side. Like if you thought about that process, they faithfully ride for Zion. This ain't the first. This ain't the last. Like they faithfully do it. And Willie Green won't even reach into his pocket to like that. That would be the fireable offense for me, to be honest. And I'm not even for black men getting fired. I'm just not. But that shit.
Mike Brown brought a fucking monitor to the like, look at this.
Justin and I spent a lot of time on the last podcast talking about this, and I woke up the next day thinking of everything that I think when you talk about opportunities, I think Borrego is missing an opportunity to just totally take the team, just to take him. Because I think if Borrego Willie ain't gonna do it. I've seen enough. I don't need. There ain't nothing changes. I don't expect anything. I don't expect anything from Willie at this point because I've seen enough. I'm not going to change my opinion. I think Borrego could go act the ass, go on the court, make a big deal, get thrown out, like making a big deal about it. It could totally take the team and the whole franchise. I think it could take it all. I really do. I think if he stepped up, because you've seen assistant coaches get thrown out before.
Yeah.
I think if he got animated, got himself thrown out, I think you would see a colossal shift in like the power that's going on there. I really think he could take the entire team and the fan base.
So that epic rant, I'm trying to get the clip up. Lala's working on it right now. We're trying to get the clip up of the Raptors. You know what? Hold up.
That wasn't even in English.
Hold up.
Yeah, my man was like struggling to get through.
Hold on.
It's a good overall test for our team in general.
That was off of Five's questions. I thought I had the actual Willie clip of when he said keep the fucking money. But so Lito, the Raptors coach got fined $25,000.
Yeah.
And he went like completely overboard. Like he just said, fuck all the rules. I'm about to go catatonic on this. And that was $25K.
Right.
That was $25K. You could have done this. You could have easily gotten your point across and be like, look, this is complete bullshit. And be like, Zion needs to get calls. He's one of the best players in the league. This is very simple. You go to bat for your best player. Like it is what it is. That's what like one of your jobs as a head coach. You got to go to bat for your players. You got to pick up technical fouls. We talk about this all the time in baseball. Ross, like Lito, Chaz, Five. Like when there's a bad call and you see your best player, like a Mike Trout, like arguing with the umpire, the manager comes sprinting from the dugout, gets in between them, and he gets tossed because it shows that he's got his players back. That's all it is. Lito, that's what we're trying. Like, why does that not happen?
It is Dennis Allen walking across the field to shake the Falcons coach can and apologize to him for running the score up. There is no difference in that. When you say, "Nah, I think I'm gonna keep the money in my pocket." I'm not. Yo, I'm not even, bro. You said I'm not even gonna argue the fucking point. I'm not even gonna argue it. I'm just gonna keep it in my pocket. I'm not even worried about how this may come across, bro. You don't think smart coaches are looking at that and saying he ain't gonna complain to the ref when we play him next game? You might well you might be physical with him.
So you're talking about, you mean hold up. So teams can play like this? This is how teams can play without getting foul calls?
Coach not gonna complain about it.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
fucking elbow to the face.
Hey, look, and look, one more thing. To Ross's point, when Ross was talking about when you see Caruso on Zion and you didn't switch up. So instead of having Zion bring the ball up, you didn't spot him on the block, right? Like you literally made him work twice as hard to get whatever he wanted to do instead of just putting him in a spot where he didn't have to work at all. It don't take a rocket science to see that. I've never played in the NBA before. I don't know if y'all know that, but the crazy thing about it is like all four of y'all saw it immediately. Also, why don't you see it?
The crazy part is like, bro, they only can find you once. You need to be trying to get suspended. Like you need to be going that hard in the paint because it sets the tone for the rest of the season. You're in the final stretch right now, and now it's the war of attrition. The last thing you need is one of your two best players getting physically assaulted right now and getting beat up because you haven't really dealt with injuries until now. But this spineless fuck, this doofusy fuck, he just don't get it. And the thing, you know what? I'm not gonna let him off the hook. He does get it. He just a fucking weasel. And he's been, I'm telling you, ever since Monty Williams wiped this man's face, I knew what we was dealing with. I knew what was happening here. I'm like, it's that kind of party. Let me get out of here. It's one of them Diddy parties. That's what happened.
So Chaz, you honestly think like if this happens, like when you say he does understand, so then why wouldn't he do it if he does understand?
Bro, I mean, look, man, I ain't trying to, I'm not, Brandon don't got nothing to do with this. But I'm just saying for us, you'll challenge a Jose, like Zion picked up he had a goaltend. He had a goaltend on the block, like the last game. Why don't you challenge it, bro? Like just challenge it. It's there, but I believe it's a challengeable call. And he had a foul in the Houston game. I'm like, why don't you challenge it, brother? Just challenge it. It's your best fucking player. Brandon's out. Challenge the call, brother. You can't lose him right now. Challenge the call. He won't do it. But if Jose need to get a call challenge, you know what I'm saying? Brother Najee need to get a call challenge. Brandon, I told y'all I was joking. He gonna run on the floor and cut himself, cry like a hoe if something happened with Brandon. Oh no, not my baby. He gonna go crazy if something happens with Brandon. And that's why that's the problem to me. I'm like, bro, you supposed to be impartial. You supposed to be the protector of the team. You like, I believe you posted something as well earlier, Justin, when Alex Caruso
foul Zion. It was a clear foul. Look, man, like the first one you could have called as like an initial bump or whatever, but then he like sweeps through and you couldn't even see it on the angle, but he gets slapped on the right arm. It's clear as day. Jonas gets the rebound and Zion even says something. But like at that point, bro, what up? So Willie went at the ref, but like that's at the point where you just go on the court and you just get the tech. You're like, he got hit on the fucking right arm. Like it is what it is. You're going to get the tech. Like
that's when I knew it was over. That's when I knew it was over. That's when I knew it was over.
I just think, like Jared, I just think that he can get. There's just. I feel like the easiest thing in basketball is getting a technical foul. I think that's the easiest thing to do.
If I'm Zion or in Zion's camp, like that ship is sailed. Like I'm not even looking for nobody else to protect me.
Yeah,
like, I'm not even at this point. Like fuck it. Like you have it. Ain't no need to. It's like you see somebody how they react the first time, and you're like, all right, you's a bitch. Like I can't even, even if you went back on like if it happened again and then you reacted differently, I still wouldn't trust it because like you didn't do it the first time.
Somebody told you to do it.
Yeah, it ain't. Now trying to make a point.
Yeah, like so if I'm Zion, bro, the next motherfucker that hit me, boom, like, and I'm not even condoning violence, but Zion got to step up for himself. Like he gotta Do it for himself. He got to earn the respect because it seems like he can't get it no other way, right? Like he gotta earn it. He gotta earn it the hard way. He gotta get it in blood.
I think and I agree with you on that because I think you're referring to the referees in general, but that's for the player that's guarding him too. Like that's not just an official thing or getting a call. That's a like, nah, y'all aren't gonna guard me like this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and if you are, be prepared for what might come with that, right? Like those elbows are gonna get higher on the swing throughs. Like it's okay to do some of that stuff at this point because you are getting bullied. Like you're too big and too physical and too strong for this to happen. Like they don't guard Joel Embiid, who plays pretty physical back to the basket, not the same style of play as Zion, obviously. They don't guard him like that. They don't guard Giannis like that because when Giannis is driving, you might catch an elbow to your face as he's coming through on a Euro or something. And he's just gonna say, well, fuck it, you shouldn't have been there. Right? Like it's okay to pick up some of those texts. Like it's time to get a little more dirty in his game. Like, and I don't mean dirty in a sense of like you're trying to injure somebody, but dirty in the sense of you're certainly certainly sending a message about how you're going to play basketball from here on out. Like I'm not taking all the arm bars when I'm trying to drive. I mean, he gets bumped on. This is what we talked. That's why he didn't shoot that many free throws because every time he drives, as soon as he puts the ball on the ground, contact. As soon as it hits the ground, they're just not even letting him get to the spot where he would get a free throw anymore. And the problem is he's not getting that early foul. And so something's got to give.
Hey, my bad. Just to piggyback off that, like if I'm him, if I'm gonna pick up a fucking charge, I'm gonna run through your fucking chest. Bang. You're not gonna do it again.
Because that's one they can't. Like a charge is already a play where there's so much contact that it's really going to be hard for them to even give you a
review it. Yeah,
because
this is
what a guy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna play that. We got the dark. So I'm gonna mispronounce his last name, but a rookie head coach, Darko Rich. Help me out with the Raptors head.
Let's start
with an R. Rajakovic.
Your boy. Just call him your boy. Just say your boy.
My boy. Okay. Rookie coach. This is a rookie coach backing up his second-year player in Scotty Barnes.
Respect for all stars and all of that, but we have star players on our team as well. How's possible is Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force and trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get foul calls. He gets 2 free throws for the whole game. How's that possible? How are you going to explain that to me? They had to win tonight? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. Just give them a win. But that was not fair tonight. And respect for all stars.
Shout out Lala uploading that video. Go ahead.
Appreciate it, Lala. You could close your eyes and substitute Scotty Barnes for Zion, and it would mean the exact same thing. Like it would purely mean the exact same thing. Because Zion does the exact same thing as Scotty Barnes. He's getting to the rim, plays the force more than anybody in the league. Our all-star caliber player has actually went to, of course, Scotty's been there now. Like same exact thing, but that guy understood it from day one. That coach,
and that's a rookie coach. That's like his 20th, 25th game coach, by the way. Like of his entire career, that's what he was doing.
It don't take game experience to stand up for yourself. Like that's just something that you born with.
Oh, I know. That's so I don't want to hear I completely agree. It's just so easy that okay, he gets the $25,000 fine, but then Scotty Barnes now knows that my coach has my rookie head coach has my back. I'm gonna do whatever I can for him and play every night. And then I would love to see. I'm probably gonna look it up. I'd love to see Scotty Barnes free throw attempts the next 5 games, the next 6 games.
What it is? See that guy? He got that Putin blood. He got that dog. See, Willie Green, if Zion does, and to me, after the whole Najee thing, shout out to Najee, by the way, to me, I still was like, Zion, I'm getting tired of motherfuckers having to defend you at this point, bro. But see, here's the thing. Here's the fucking kicker. Here's the kicker. When Zion ultimately does hit a motherfucker with a Thugan or whatever, here come Willie Green. I told Z, we're better than that. There's no place in our game for that. His children watching, his family's in the stands, and he knows that he shouldn't have to do that. Like that's just how he is. He just a fucking he just a weasel.
Hold up. After that coach went off, he shot 12 free throws the next game. Scotty Barnes did.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. Like this isn't the first time. Like Five keeps saying this. This isn't the first time these situations have happened in the history of the NBA. Like there's a process to this. There's like a method. You can only do so many things in this league to get your point across. Why won't this is just one of those things you have to do as a head coach. If you won't do it, then you got to go. Like,
do y'all think Griff has to come down and do it?
I think it would be nice.
If it gets to that point, then you gotta.
They gonna send Swin out.
But Chaz, to your point, to go back, I think if that sequence of events happens, you could start the clock on Zion requesting a trade. You could start the clock. If he hammers some idiot defender in the next game, and Willie Green comes out and gives the speech you just gave, you could start the clock right now.
It's gonna be it's me or him situation.
Oh, 1,000%. So, Lito, we got to talk about Herb Jones.
No doubt.
So tonight, Chaz looked at the box score before he got on. He went fucking 4 of 5 from deep. So Herb Jones, once again, he's shooting.
That's incredible.
He's shooting 51% in the month of February on 3.6 attempts.
Yeah.
And Lito, we talk about his 3-point percent, or we talk about his 3-pointers. We talk about his 3-point percentage, his field goal percentage, all career highs. He drops 15 again tonight, plus 10, 6 assists, and 2 of those passes. Like his passing is now getting better. He had a beautiful pocket pass. I think it led to a JV dunk or layup or something like that. Then he slot cuts, got 2-on-1 on the left side, and in one motion catches the ball coming from right to left, bounce behind the back bounce pass, all in one motion. JRE for 3. His passing is now getting better.
I don't know if his passing is getting better. I think his passing is just being used now. You couldn't tell me that he couldn't do that from day one. I just don't believe that. I just think that they found no use, or they didn't want. I don't know. Whatever the game plan is, it's limited usage for her. But I'm glad that the coaching staff is now seeing that he is an impactful player in many aspects of the game, and it's not just defense. You gotta put him on the sheet as a knockdown shooter at this point. Like, you have to respect it. Like, it's not a fluke anymore. And bro, like 6 assists. Herb, I've said it, Five said it. I'm sure Chaz and Ross have said it. He should probably be the point guard for this team. Like, he should be the facilitator in so many different, actions. Where you have him just standing in the corner. I mean, listen, and now he's shooting at 50%. So him standing in the corner, especially if it's the left corner, I'm good with that.
It's a layup.
It's a layup. But the right corner, maybe, if you put him over there, maybe have him initiate it. Maybe have him come set the screen. Herb is a phenomenal player, and I you might just be scratching the peak of his potential. You talk about, I'm not really trying to diss him because he's just having a rough go at it, but you talk about what, Trey could eventually become, but like, man, what could Herb eventually become?
Yeah, so Five, I mean, you actually went in the summer and said that Herb could be the point guard of this team. You want to elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah. I mean, I'd be right. I'm gonna just let y'all know.
Come on, one more time.
I'd be right.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I could pull up film and be like, Jared was wrong. Like, no, Herb is a basketball player. I mean, I don't even care about like him playing the one at Alabama. It's the SEC. Like, it's kind of positionless anyway. But like, you can see the tendencies. Even though we didn't. I mean, Ross kind of alluded to. We kind of had a back and forth between Chris about this. Like, we thought Herb was going to shoot like 38. Shooting 41, like that's what we thought.
Said 38, like that is like best case scenario 38. Like,
yeah, we had no idea.
38.
We had no idea. And think about it. It all started if you go back to last February, that was his worst month ever. Like, Herb couldn't buy a 3.
Yep.
And I think I remember seeing him in the hallway. I was like, "Hey, bro, just keep shooting it." He's like, "Nah." I think I wrote about it. It's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep shooting that shit, no doubt." And then afterwards, but he's been on a tear ever since. Like, you had to make him a threat. So putting the ball in his hand allows you to do so and not just have him harboring in the corner. Now, what it turns out to be, like, he can be in the corner and harboring, like you got to account for it. Now it's kind of like a two-way, like you might as well use it to your advantage again. Like put the ball in his hands. That way, I guess more so the liability is Brandon shooting it through rather than Herb. So I think putting the ball in Herb's hands allows you to do a lot more because one, he's a willing passer and he's a good connector. He's looking for you first rather than him. So again, going against Brandon, like Brandon's trying to get his first rather than get everybody else. Like everybody else is an afterthought. And I think for this team, you need a point guard that's going to be like, let me get everybody else involved. And CJ's so much better off ball. It just makes natural sense. He fills a void that you kind of don't have.
That was well said. Ross, you want to elaborate a little bit on Herb Jones and what you're seeing from him over these? Because you were the one that brought it up. Like, it's not even a sample size. You brought it up probably a couple months ago. You're like, this is now like an 82 game sample size of going back from last year that he's shooting 39-40% on. It's not necessarily high volume, but it's respectful. Like it's respectful. Like he's shooting on three. Like, and I think everybody on the panel said he needs to shoot more.
I'm glad you just said that. Yeah, it's going back to basically that month that Five was talking about. I mean, as soon as he broke out of that little slump in February, from that point to now, you're at like 42. I mean, you're an elite 3-point shooter. And it's not like one shot a game here. I mean, we're talking about it's over 3, and the number continues to rise. In fact, tonight I kind of like slammed my hand down on my fist at on my chair at one point because he passed up a wide open 3. Like, I don't want him passing up any more open 3s. None, zero, nada. Don't care where they are. Don't care where we are in the game. Don't care who passed it to you. Don't care who's open. I want him taking every open 3 that comes. It's what else do you need to see? Like, it's not a hot streak is a month, man. Is a couple of weeks, not an entire season plus last year, like plus the summer, plus preseason. Like, dude can just fucking hit open shots. Like, I mean, it is what it is at this point. He does not need to be passing up any open. You know what the problem was? The shot, because the shot he passed up tonight, he passed it up. He gave it to Trey, who missed. I don't need him passing up any open shots to give the ball to Trey Murphy to shoot one. None. If you're open, shoot the ball. Shoot it. Like, no excuse.
Damn.
He needs to shoot every shot that's open.
But
I do want to go back and talk about the ball handling a little bit. If y'all got something else, but
no, go ahead. go ahead.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That was only one word. That was one word in a letter, and you fucking knew exactly what I was gonna say. Go ahead, Ross.
I felt like even though CJ hasn't been the predominant ball handler as much, I think these last few games, I think we missed him tonight. I don't know how many turnovers we had. Brandon initiating the offense was awful. I'm sure you already talked about the Brandon and then the turnovers and stuff, but I felt like at times tonight we really missed CJ. And so if we're not going to shift more to Herb initiating the offense, I don't know what they're going to do over these next few weeks. But tonight
Ross, were you on the stream about the Jordan Hawkins set tonight when he ran point guard? Were you on the stream for that?
Nah.
I think I probably missed it. I don't even want to rehash it. I was there. I saw it. I don't need to see it.
Herb Jones is on the court at that point.
We don't need to talk about it.
All right, Lee, I was going to ask you, is Herb Jones one of the best contracts in the league?
Yes, he is. Yes, definitely he is. Is Herb Jones right now probably the second best shooter in the scene? Yes, he is.
Who's the first?
I'd probably say CJ because of the volume. We got 39 made threes
in a whole career of like in 12 years worth of being like an elite.
Right. Yeah, I ain't trying to get lost in the moment, but CJ a better shooter.
Chaz, I have a question for you. What would, if we didn't sign Herb this offseason, and he produced these numbers, what would he go for in the would it be restricted free agent market?
Ooh, that's a good question, Justin.
I think he gets Vassal's contract.
You said Vassal?
He gets Jaden McDaniels exact
contract. 124.
He gets the contract Jaden McDaniels got, which was like 4 and 120 something. Because they basically paid Jaden McDaniels
to be with Herb.
5 year 136 for Jaden. 5 years 136.
There you go. That's what he.
If I'm Herb, I walk in on airline sometime before the season over, and I tell him I want to do over. I want to review this shit. Like,
thank God he's stuck.
For real.
Yeah.
4 years,
Y'all want
53 mil for Herb.
Y'all get some super chats?
Yeah. We'll go about like 10 more minutes, so let's get into some super chats. Thanks for reminding me there. So, Don, appreciate you. I know we are soft, but what is up with our inability to finish in tight games? Pause. 5, you can take that one.
Donald coaching. That's what it comes down to. No matter who's on the court, it doesn't change. There just seems to be a pattern here, and then there's one outlier. No matter what, you're gonna find a random bad lineup late in the game at a crucial point in time, where Zion Williamson comes off the court, and then magically you erase a 15-point lead somewhere in there. You can probably find 7-8 games in the past 2 months that go just like that. So it's coaching.
Ross from Thomas, appreciate you, Ross. Or Thomas. I owe Ross an apology. We're not that team. I say 9 through 12 play inbound. 9 and is it not? What's he saying? 9 and 12, like the 12 seed?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
We're not getting no.
That's a little too
I don't
far
think
back.
about that
I
far.
think we're a playing team
No.
for sure.
Oh, you think we're a playing team for sure?
Yeah, I think so. I think the CJ going down. Pause. I think CJ rolling his ankle.
Hey, bro. Hey, hold on. You said one the other day with you and Justin on the pod. I'm gonna just let you know that shit was crazy. I was meaning to call you about that. Yeah, I'm gonna review the tape, bro. It stopped me in my tracks. I was like, yo,
We got a retroactive fine on that one.
Mike.
Yeah, I think we're staring at the play in. I think you. In fact, we can go through. I don't know if we have time. Go through the schedule for the next few weeks. I'm worried.
Yeah, bring up
Worried.
the schedule. Lito, do you want to say something? Let's go right to
I
chat.
was saying Donald was saying that he means from All-Star break.
I think he means record from all. Oh, like 9 and 12. Well, there's like 26 games left, right? Well, okay, fine, 9 and 12. I mean, interesting. Yeah. Chaz, we talked about this tonight. It was I thought Sebring was called back. I saw he was in the building tonight. 5
might be more knowledgeable about this.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay.
No, I'm not activating Sebring. Like, I don't think that does any. Like, it's not the time to, right? It's not like you can't bring a guy in and be like, all right, let him, create for us. Like, I think that's why Najee was so valuable, because he was like a second connector, but yet he can kind of create and get downhill, and Jose to some degree, right? But I don't think bringing in Sebring, like, that's like bringing in Kyra in the fucking playing game. Like, what even if it kind of works a little bit, like, what are you gonna do? Keep him? Like, then you have a whole bunch of other, like, you barely can get Jordan Hawkins minutes right now. Just lucky,
Right.
People are down. Like, you're gonna have a whole bunch of other conversations to have at that point.
Chaz from JB, appreciate you. Can we talk about the 9 turnovers and 7 field goals with 3 rebounds? How's this guy the one taking every clutch time shot? Before I get to that, Chaz, I actually thought Zion did get a lot of looks there late at the end. But go ahead.
Oh shit!
Who is this about? Who's this about?
I didn't know he had 9 turnovers.
Brandon Ingram had 9 turnovers tonight.
Oh, that's about Brandon. Oh, okay. I didn't want to take like a bite at the apple and just guess who it was. But look, man, Brandon not very good, bro. Like, if people just don't want to accept it, he is not very good. This is his second 9 turnover game of the season. Had another one in Charlotte.
When? Oh, he had 9 against Charlotte?
Yeah. And here's the funny part. He would have had 10 if they didn't take him out the game. He got like benched in the fourth. But this is, Brandon, what he had 4 points in the second half. 3 for 6 from beyond the arc. That is encouraging. He just, I don't know. Like, he just not that good. Like, even with the Miami game, I never once said to myself, if Brandon plays tonight, we win. Oh boy, we desperately need Brandon Ingram, because a lot of the times I'm thinking, for what? Like when I look at a night like tonight, I say, damn, we really could have used maybe a little bit more defense out there, a little bit more facilitating, like better facilitating. So where does Brandon really fit in that equation? You could say facilitating, but he had 9 fucking turnovers. So it's like, for me, I always lean toward we need a guy who can self-create, get to the cup, and shoot threes. Those are the things I think this team needs. That's why I feel like missing CJ is a huge fucking deficit to this team. CJ being out versus Brandon. I thought Brandon played terribly.
Chaz, and you brought up a great point, Chaz, about Brandon that I didn't think about, right? So he's not shooting threes, but he's also not getting to the free throw line. It's career low. Career low
as a Pelican, I believe.
I'm sorry. It's the second second worst free throw attempts per game. It was his sophomore season with LA. He went to the line 4.8 times. He's now going to the line 5 times a night. So that's another thing. Like I just thought, I don't.
But he's another person that I thought post All-Star, he got a break, got a bit of an extended break because he was a little sick. He might have been very sick, but I was hoping it's just one game. It's a 1 game sample size, but it's kind of like you hope that he has some fresh legs and he's able to kind of like finish strong. But again, to me, I just look at what's gonna get better. To me, the peak fucking Brandon Ingram experience in closing.
Yeah. Talk about that.
Like, this motherfucker standing across from his clone, right? Demar Derozan, right wing, no rhythm, shimmy, jumper, dagger 3, right? Brandon Ingram, ATO, right? ATO, head full of steam, attacking Alex Caruso. He doesn't pull up for the jumper. He doesn't pull up for the jumper in this 5-point. He doesn't pull up for the 3. He gets into the restricted area. Stops, turns around, fade away, fucking 2. I was like, yo, what is this?
And AD on the broadcast even said, like, you gotta go for 3 here because like you just got to. If you miss, you lose, and if you make it 2, like you're still behind the 8 ball.
That was a terrible shot.
Much sense.
I just don't understand the line of thinking. It's like no situational awareness there. Like if you hit a 3, if you foul, it's still a 1 possession game if they miss a free throw. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's
so look, guys, we're gonna go about 5-10 more minutes. Shot for 5 coming in. Wow. Sorry about that. That was
what? You heard
that.
Forget what I said.
Yeah, 5K back. Let's hear from Crystal Hot Sauce.
I need to clear something up about New Orleans. While our culinary scene might be on fire, our food has never been about heat. It's always been about flavor. And this is how New Orleans does flavor. Are we clear? Crystal, how New Orleans does flavor.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. Saying that and then going to Crystal Hot Sauce, it was that.
Yeah, oh wow.
I mean, what do you want me to play the company burger one? Should I go?
Nah.
You want me to go to the company burger one?
Squeeze the buns. What
You know what? Let's hear from Company Burger. Company Burger is the official burger of Pro Pels Talk and Boot Crew Media. Located at 4600 Ferret Street, Company Burger has been locally owned and operated for 11 years. Grind the meat, bake the buns, make the mayo, get the homemade tots. Company Burger uses Creekstone Farms prime beef to create the best burger in the city with milkshakes to go and a full bar. Company Burger is open every day besides Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Can't make it out? No worries, we have you covered. You can order online right now at thecompanyburger.com or check them out on the Toast or Uber Eats app. Company Burger, the official burger of Boot Crew Media.
Yo, that's
grind the meat, make the mayo is a wild.
Shout out Adam, man. Lino, you know what, Lino? Just get us out of here. Lino, just get us out of here.
Who wrote that? I want to know who wrote that script.
That's Adam. It was Adam. Shout out Adam. No. Ross, that's
I got
5 seconds of Lino. 5 seconds of Lino.
I got nothing to say. All I gotta say is 9 turnovers is crazy. This team misses CJ. You you have half the team and you still have bad rotations. I don't even understand. That's crazy, Chung. All right, go ahead. Nah, that's over.
Hey, smash that like button. See y'all later.